Hello everyone and welcome back. Today what we're going to do is make a rose with a glass pen. Now I just got this pen just a few days ago, so I'm new to using these type of pens. What we're going to do with the rose is we're going to put just kind of a circle, but you don't really close the circle up. And then you're going to put kind of like parentheses around like that. Now what you don't want to do is put it back to back parentheses. You want to space it out. You see? And dependent upon how many petals you want to have, you can just keep going and make a gigantic rose, or you can make something on the smaller side. Today, we're going to probably make something more on the smaller side. Get some more of that wonderful ink. Now, what you can do to make your rose look even fancier is kind of put like a little triangle look to it, and then do the same thing over here on this side. And if you decide that that's not exactly where I wanted it, you can always cover it up with another petal or parentheses. You see how that looks? It gives it a nice flow to it, just like in nature. Like a beautiful walk in nature through a rose garden. You see? And what I'm going to do is continue to make some more parentheses. I'm going to get some more ink. Believe it or not, this pen actually came with the ink as well. It came with everything needed. And it was only like maybe, I want to say like $20, but that could be completely wrong. That could be what I was wishing it would be. Okay, now what we're going to do is kind of color it in, the center part, so that part kind of stands out even more. And what I'm seeing is almost like a little heart. And you can kind of just, you see how that's, I'm just wrapping it around, just going around like that. Let's get some more ink. Then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to kind of skip over this part, and then we're going to shade in this petal. And that's the wonderful thing about using ink, is you can draw it out as well as color it in at the same time. Now, if you happen to see that the colors are starting to overlap a little too much, what you want to do is get you some more ink and make your petals again, so it will look a little bit more defined. See, I'm doing it, and see how that is popping it out some. And then you're going to do the same thing up here to kind of balance it out. And do the same over here. And with this part, what we're going to do is we're going to need some more ink. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how much ink is needed, or how long you can go with just your first dab of ink. I will say it's a lot of fun using this glass pen. I'm going to put the pointy petals again. I'm going to do those over, make them a little bit bigger. You see how I'm kind of rounding out the point? And then we're going to do just kind of a round half circle, like so. And then we're going to start over here. And you see how I did a slight bend in there. And get some more ink. Gonna do the same thing, just a little parentheses. And the main thing you don't want to do is put it too much to the side of each other where it's going like directly together, but you want to keep spacing it out. So if you happen to make like a little mistake, you can always make another petal and that will cover it up. The petals, I like to call them little parentheses because that's the easiest way to think of it. It's just a little parenthesis. You see how it's building up right in there? And as you do that, the more you do it, it will become, it will pop out a little bit more. And I'm going to do that to this part right here. And what you can do is just roll the pen and get some more ink that way. And like I said, if you see something you don't really like it, the way it's working out, just do another petal. Another petal through this Rose Valley. And we're going to do our triangles again. And that way we can make our rose a little bigger. And you see how after the triangles, in between I'm making the parentheses. So it's a triangle here. So I'm going to make a parentheses right there. You see? And then again, I'm going to make a triangle. And I'm going to make another parentheses. And then what we're going to do is slightly fill in the tops of each of our petals. And you do want to kind of wiggle your pen slightly so it can give it a more natural appearance to it. You kind of just have to go by what you like. Get a little bit more ink here. And make this point a little bit more pronounced. Make another little petal here. And we're going to do the same thing over here. You see how I did like a, kind of like a parentheses, but just pushing the parentheses out a little bit more. Gonna do that again over here. And let's fill in our little triangles a little bit more. As well as the other edges of our rose. You see how I'm just going to kind of almost color it in, but not completely. And you'll know that you're finished once you like how it looks, basically. And see, like this little point right here, I'm gonna kind of shade that in a little bit. And this one, I'm gonna kind of shade those in slightly more. And get some more ink. And keep shading in. Put a nice big petal back over here. So anytime you kind of don't like the way something looks, add another petal to it. And what we're not trying to do is, we're not trying to make it look like a painting. We want it to have somewhat of a rough, edgy look to it, but also delicate. So rough and delicate all at the same time, basically. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna kind of rotate our pen a little bit so we can get a little bit more ink on there. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I think I'm almost finished with it. And feel free to follow along with me. Get your own art pieces out and draw with me. But yeah, I think what I'll do is do a little bit more here. And that. Will be the end. I hope you enjoyed this today. If you did, please don't forget to give it a like, and that way more people can see it. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel, where we do a lot of art, lots of different types of art, drawing. I have another rose video that if you enjoy watching making a rose and you want to kind of continue to work on your rose, I have another video that I'm going to put up, and the details are in the description so that you can continue doing your rose drawing.